so good.
That was really
That was better than their practice.
Yes, Ryan!
Yeah, Brian!
Wow, so I love the color scheme that you accurately portrayed. Those are colors and outfits that are traditionally found in Kalinga, in the Ili, in the villages. And then everything was very synchronized. However, for my own personal aesthetics, as someone who's visited Lubwagan during these festivals, I think musically it needed to be toned down a notch. Slow it down a bit. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I did not hear I was hoping for that distinct pocket round melody, dun 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 dun, but I did not hear that at all. I just heard like everything was just so rushed, and the speed was like a lot faster than what I was expecting. Sorry to say that, but that's just me being a nitpicky ethnomusicologist who's been to those villages. I'm not sure any of you have, but anyway.
Just to give the audience more context, specifically when it comes to Kalinga. In Kalinga music, traditionally it's actually bamboo. So you don't really hear a lot of gangsa. And this is again for educational purposes. Again, good job to everyone. But for more context, in addition to what Bernard said, the patterns are usually softer. Okay, let's talk about attire. I want to also preface this with the understanding that we are working with what resources we have, right? It's hard to get out here, and that's really important to think of from the place of positionality. But I do want to just make sure that as we are all here in celebration of Philippine culture, just recognizing, well, one, I think they did a great job at sourcing colors, right? Just like what Bernard said, I do want to identify, if we do remember earlier, we did see the dinuya that was presented. So we do see that the male performers do have ifugao bahags. I'm not going to dog them. I just want to make sure that we are aware that we are looking at an ifugao bahag versus a kalinga bahag. Cool? Cool? Thank you, audience. On another note, sorry, I'm talking a lot because I'm also from Kalinga and I've been working with their cultural Manang Jenny. She is my mentor. So it's really important for me to say, your basics were there. Thank you so much. I can see the attempt for the footwork. I would have loved, though, to see it. So when we think about Kalinga, I think about the mountains. I think about the earth. For a male performing movement, what we like to see is how grounded movement is, because that's what we're in relation to when we're thinking about Kalinga male movement. But also, a lot of movement stems from the birds, from your environment, from your surroundings. So just a distinction of grounded movement that's closer to the ground, and then also that pull up when we are referencing the eagle movement. Also for the female performing, I would have loved to see the outstretch of the arms a little bit more, because in Kalinga you have two traditional dances, that's salip and tachok. Tachok has a female counterpart, and that's sagli. Sagli is where you also represent the eagles, and so you show that movement through the way your arms are outstretched. But overall, a really beautiful job, a really good presentation, and just thank you.
You know what? I really loved how polished this show was. Honestly, in my opinion, it was probably one of the more polished numbers of the whole night. You can really see the dedication and the heart that was left on the stage. I know some of the audience don't know, but I was telling a lot of them backstage is to leave your heart on the stage, and I do think they did that. I will say that as the dances that you were pulling from, the chalichog, the tachok, maybe even the kayasag and the salip, I did see it. What I really would have liked to see was more of it. You're representing Kalinga, And I do just want to have you guys be a little bit more careful that I feel like there's a lot of influence coming from other tribes, some Ifugao. Some of the movements of the arms were a little bit too close, which feels a little bit more Ibaloy and not Kalinga. So I just want us to be a little bit more careful about stuff like that. You know, the Kalinga are known for being very bouncy and like arms open wide like an eagle. So, and there are times where I feel like it was a lot more like interpretive with your movements and it showcased in your storytelling. However, I feel like the actual Kalinga references were kind of a little bit more sparingly used. I would have loved to see more of that. But honestly, it was a really good show.